Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 4 and we will explain about semantics. And these are our group members: Muhammad Sesida Alan, Rizky Karunia Putri, and Nur Habibah Krotul Aini. What is semantics? Semantics is the study of the meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. In semantics analysis, there is always an attempt to focus on what the words conventionally mean. This approach is concerned with objective or general meaning and avoids trying to account for subjective or local meaning. Doing semantics is attempting to spell out what it is or know when we behave as if we share knowledge of the meaning of a word, a phrase, or a sentence in a language. Meaning. First, conceptual meaning. Conceptual meaning is the literal or core sense of a word. There is nothing read into the term, no subtext. It's just the straightforward, literal dictionary definition of the word. The term is also called denotation or cognitive meaning. Example, money. Money is an object or series of them that allow people to buy goods. Second, associative meaning. Associative meaning refers to the particular qualities or characteristic beyond the denotative meaning that people commonly think of correctly or incorrectly in relation to a word or phrase, also known as expressive meaning and stylistic meaning. Example, money, rich, job, to work, tired, coin, poor, and etc. Semantic features. Semantic features are theoretical unit or meaning-holding components which are used for representing word meaning. These features play a vital role in determining the kind of lexical relation which exists between words in a language. Although such model of meaning representation has numerous applications in various fields, the manual derivation of semantic features is a cumbersome and time-consuming task. We aim to elevate this process by developing an automated semantic features extraction system based on ontological models. Such an approach will provide explicit word meaning representation and enable to computation of lexical relations such as synonym and antonym. And this is a semantic feature chart. Semantics roles. First, agent and theme. Instead of thinking of words as containers of meaning, we can look at the roles they fulfill within the situation described by a sentence. In the situation is a simple event, as in, the boy kicked the ball. Then the verb describe an action, kick. The noun phrase in the sentence describe the roles of entities, such as people and things, involved in the action. We can identify a small number of semantic roles. Second, instrument and experiencer. If an agent uses another entity in order to perform an action, that other entity fills the role of instrument. In the sentence, the boy cut the rope with an old razor and he drew the picture with a crayon. The noun phrase, an old razor and a crayon, are being used in the semantic role of instrument. When a noun phrase is used to designate an entity as the person who has a feeling, perception, or state, it fills the semantic role of experiencer.
Lexical relations not only can work be treated as containers of meaning or as fulfilling roles in even they can also have relationship with each other. In everyday talk, we often explain the meaning of words in terms of their relationship. If we ask the meaning of the word counsel, for example, we make simplify it the same as height, or give the meaning of shallow as the opposite of deep, or the meaning of daffodils, a kind of flower. In doing so, we are characterizing the meaning of each word, not in terms of its component features. but in terms of its relationship to other words. This approach is used in the semantic description of language and treats as the analysis of lexical relation. The lexical relation we have just exemplified are synonym or counsel or height, anatomy or shallow or deep, and hyponym or daffodils or flower. Synonym and antonym. Synonym is two or more words which very closely relate. They can often be substituted for each other in sentence in the appropriate in circumstance. Other common example of synonym are the pairs. Example: almost or nearly, big or large, broad or wide, buy or purchase, cab or taxi, car or automobile. Antonym. Antonym is two forms with opposite meanings. Some common examples are the pairs. Example: alive or dead, big or small, fast or slow, happy or sad, hot or cold, long or short, male or female. Antonyms are usually divided into two main types: gradable or opposite along a scale. Gradable antonyms such as the pair, thick or small can be used in comparative conclusion. Non-gradable, direct opposite. Non-gradable antonym also called complementary pairs. Comparative construction are not normally used. Hyponym. When the meaning of one form included in the meaning of another, the relationship is described as hyponym. Examples are the pairs animal or dog or poodle, vegetable or carrot, flower or rose, tree or banyan. The concept of inclusion involved in this relationship in the idea that if an object is a rose, then it is necessarily a flower, so the meaning of flower is included in the meaning of rose, or rose is a hyponym of flower. When we consider hyponymous connection, we are essentially looking at the meaning of word in some type of hierarchical relationship. The relation of hyponym captures the concept of is a kind of as when we give the meaning of a word by saying, and king cobra is a kind of snake. Sometimes the only thing we know about the meaning of a word is that it is a hyponym of another term. Prototypes. A prototype is a cognitive reference point that is the proto-image of all representative of the meaning of a word or of a category. The concept of a prototype helps explain the meaning of certain words, like bird, not in terms of component features. Example: has feathers, has wings, but in terms of resemblance to the clearest example, does even native speaker of English make wonder if a streak or penguin should be hyponym of bird, or technically they are, but have no trouble deciding about sparrow or pigeon. These last two are much closer to the prototype.
Homophones and homonyms. First, I want to explain about homophones. Homophones, also known as sound-alike words, are words that are pronounced identically, although They have different spellings and meanings. These words are a very common sort of confusion when writing. Common examples of sheets of homophones include to, and to, there and there, be and be, son and son, which and playing and plan. Vocabulary spelling city is a particularly useful tool for learning to correctly use and spell the sound alike word. Homonyms. Homonyms are multiple meaning words are words that share the same spelling and the same pronunciation but have different meanings. For the example, bear. A bear, the animal, and bear can be described as tolerant, very cold temperature. The driver turned left, opposite of right, and left departed from the main road. And then the next polysemy. Polysemy from Greek can call it as a many is the capacity for a word or phrase to have multiple related meaning. Polysemy is thus distinct from homonymy or homophony, which is an accidental similarity between two or more words, such as bear, the animal, and the verb to bear, while homonym is mere linguistic coincidence. Polysemy is not in deciding between polysemy or homonym. It might be necessary to look at the history of the word to see if the two meanings are historically related. Dictionary writers often list polysems under the same entry. Homonyms are defined separately. For the example, man, the human species, I man versus other organisms, males of the human species. Okay, but the next we will talking about wordplay. Wordplay or wordplay, also play on word, is a literary technique and a form of wit in which word use become the main subject of the word, primarily for the purpose of intended effect or amusement. For the example of wordplay, there is include puns, phonetic mix-ups such as polynism, and obscure word and meanings. Clever rhetorical excursion, form sentence, double entries, and telling character names. And the importance of being earnest. Earnest being a given name that sounds exactly like the adjective earnest. Wordplay is quite common in oral culture as a method of reinforcing meaning. Examples of text-based wordplay are found in language with or without alphabet-based scripts, such as homophonic puns in Mandarin Chinese. And here the example. An epithet probably unsigned to any grave demonstrates use in rhyme. Here lie the bones of one Ban. Here was killed with a gun. His name was not Ban, but Wood. But Wood wouldn't not rhyme with gun, but burn wood. And then about next metonymy. Metonymy is a figure of speech in which a thing or concept is referred to by the name of something close associated with that thing or concept. Metonymy works by the contiguity between two concepts, whereas the term metaphor is based upon their analogous similarity. When people use metonymy, they do not typically wish to transfer qualities from one referent to another as they do with metaphor. There is nothing press-like about reporters or crown like about a monarch, but the press and the crown are but common metonyms. For the example, uh, contain. When one thing contains another, if you it can frequently be used metonymically as when this is used to refer not to a plate but to the food it contains, or as when the name of buildings is used to refer to entity it contains, as when Washington, the White House, or the Pentagon are used to refer to the US government, presidential staff, or military leadership. Okay, this is the last one. Collocation. In corpus linguistic, a collocation is a series of words of turn or turn that co-occur more often than would be expected by chance. In phraseology, a collocation is a type of compositional phrase, meaning that it can be understood from the word that make it up. This contrasts with an idiom where the meaning of the word cannot be inferred from its part and may be completely unrelated. An example of a phraseological collocation, as propounded by Michel Helde, is the expression strong tea, while the same meaning could be conveyed by the roughly equivalent powerful tea. This expression is considered excessive and awkward by English speakers. Conversely, a corresponding expression is in technology. Powerful computer is preferred over strong computer. Collocation extraction is a computational technique that finds collocations in a document or corpus using various computational linguistic elements resembling data meaning. And here's our resource. You can visit this site if you interesting. I will glad if you want to know more about it. Okay, thanks for your attention. I think that's all that I can to say to you. I'm sorry if there is some mistakes in my pronunciation or in our material. See you guys. Thanks you. Thank you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.